Welcome back. All right, so second game out of 13 to be played today, again featuring a Canadian team, and this one being between the Edmonton Oilers and the Florida Panthers. Now, Edmonton had won 11 of their last 12 visits to Florida, but of course, we know a lot of those visits are going to be before the Florida Panthers became the team that they were last year and that they want to be this year. And so, the Oilers coming off of that humiliating 7-2 loss. And I've talked about this before. Teams that come off of humiliating losses like that normally win the next game. They normally have that bounce back. So it was Skinner versus Knight in this one. Panthers unbeaten at home coming into this game. So the jinx was on when they mentioned that. Delayed game. The Oilers were looking for one early. It could have been called. It wasn't called. So a bit of a lucky break there for the Florida Panthers. Mahura's then denied and close. The Panthers press. They draw themselves a power play. There was a crossbar for Reinhart. Bennett has a shot that's held. Good cycle on that one. The power play's killed off 2 shots. In fact, the shots are 6-0 for Florida at 5.5 minutes. This is one of those games where the Oilers don't start on time, but they finished very well. Barkov with a rush, that's defended. More Florida pressure at 8 minutes. White's denied from the slot. That was the 11th shot from the Panthers. The Oilers are still at 0. So again, the Oilers kind of slow picking it up once they started getting shots. They had them at the same or better rate than Florida. So the Oilers do get a power play at 9:24. They don't have any shots. The power play was because there's a penalty taken by Florida in the Edmonton zone. So McDavid has a shot that's held during that power play. The power play's killed off. It does manage 2 shots. And the shots are 13-3 with 6 minutes left. So they never even up, but at the very least, once the Oilers get on the board with a shot or two, they do keep pace with the Florida Panthers. Fogle has a fast break that saved and draws a power play. Fogle had a very good game, drawing a power play there. Keep in mind, Evander Kane's out for the next 3 to 4 months, so they're going to need help from other guys. Yamamoto's out as well. They're definitely going to need some extra help, and they got a lot of help today. Draisaitl's denied and close. That power play is killed off. 2 shots for the Oilers on it, and the Oilers press after it ends. So after one period, the shots are very lopsided, but considering that the Panthers had the first 11, the Oilers actually fight their way back into the game. Second period, the Oilers line juggling. That turns out to be a good idea. Early press by the Oilers. Kulak has a wraparound that's saved. Shots are 3-0 for Edmonton at 2.5 minutes. So now it's the Florida Panthers that didn't start on time. Tkachuk misses wide as the Panthers press. We get a power play then for the Oilers. Takes a while to get set up. Nugent-Hopkins fires one wide. The power play's killed off. 1 shot for the Oilers on that. Barkov has a net drive that's saved. The shots are 7-2 in favor of the Oilers at 8.5 minutes. Again, the momentum, the better of the play goes to the Oilers. The Oilers would press at 9 minutes. Things get kind of pushy then after a hold by Skinner. Ceci has a screenshot that's held, and then through a screen, Barrie ends up getting a goal from McLeod and Janmark at 11:49. Blasts it from the point, and that makes it 1-0. Then the Panthers look to answer. Ekblad has a blast that ends up going wide there. Oilers go back to the power play, but it doesn't last. It becomes a minute and I've got a minute 54, but it was actually a minute and 57 seconds of 4-on-4. It was a 3-second power play. Panthers press with 3 minutes left. The Oilers then press back. Barkov has a rush chance that's defended. Verhaeghe has a tip that's held. It's 1-0 after 2 for the Oilers, but it's a very good back-and-forth game. It's very evenly played at this point, even though the shots after 2 were 30-20 in favor of the Panthers. So third period, early power play for Florida. Tkachuk fires one high. The Oilers clear it out. But 4 seconds before the power play was to end, and the app is still not showing this as a power play goal, Bennett scores from Forsling and Verhaeghe at 2:42. So right near the end of that power play, and Florida gets on the board, so that makes it 1-1. Panthers then press for the lead. There's a post for Barkov. And then for the Oilers, Kostin, who was in the lineup tonight, he had a rush chance that was saved. I thought Kostin played well. Puljujarvi couldn't bury one in close. The Panthers then rushed the other way. The Oilers would press, draw themselves a power play, and early in their power play, Tyson Barrie at 6:53 still shows us unassisted. Either way, it's still there. They get the lead 2-1. Blasted far corner. And so for Barrie, that is the 7th time in his career he's had more than 1 goal in a game. Panthers press to respond. Things get pushy after a hold by Skinner. Luostarinen fires one wide as the Panthers press. Reinhart fires one wide on a rush. The Oilers were doing a good job of keeping the Panthers to the outside. The Panthers would get zone time, they would get pressure. Not a lot of really good opportunities at that stage of the period. Janmark then had back-to-back opportunities that were kicked aside. Draisaitl was turned aside as well shortly thereafter. The shots are 11-8 for Florida with 6 minutes left. So they're doing their best, but again, out of those 11, they would only get one shot the rest of the way. But Foegele would score to give the Oilers a 2-goal lead from Draisaitl. He buries a one-timer at 15:07. So Foegele making the best out of his opportunity. Again, minus Kane and minus Yamamoto. Somebody's got to step in. Fogel's a veteran. He's done well so far. But then at 15:58, it's Bennett with his second goal of the game. He scores from White and Gudas. And he just went around Skinner and scores. And it's one of those goals that when you see the replay, you think, why don't other players just do that? Just make the goalie commit, go around him, and put it in the net. You make the goalie look foolish. It's a really good play. Bennett with a couple of goals. So they pull the goaltender with 2 minutes and 20 seconds left, and that leads to the Oilers getting another goal. Empty netter, it's Nugent-Hopkins from McDavid and Puljujarvi at 18:34, and your final score is 4-2. The Oilers go to 9-7 with the win. The Florida Panthers drop to 8-6-1 with the loss. Again, Florida's having a hard time really continuing momentum. Look at the game itself. They outshot the Oilers in the first period 20-7. And then the rest of the way, the Oilers outshoot them 13-10 in the second, and both teams had 12 shots in the third. So the only shot that Florida had in the last 6 minutes was the goal by Bennett. And outside of that, they didn't have anything hit the net, according to the official shots at the time I'm recording this, because the shots did change quite a bit during the game. So your final shots are 42-32 for Florida. Power plays, Edmonton 1 for 5. Florida 1 for 3. Both teams had 15 hits in this one. Skinner saves 40 out of 42. He was excellent. So it's his net. It's his net now. I do believe, for the time being, Knight with 28 saves on 31 shots. So the Oilers go in. They beat Florida at home. Florida's no longer undefeated at home. And they're left kind of scratching their heads on this one. This was only the 6th, I believe they said the 6th home game so far this season for Florida. So maybe they just need some more time at home and they can get on a bit of a roll. But right now, the record at 8-6-1, not really like the team they were last year. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section below as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.